5:15.
Is it? Okay. Look at those later. Okay. So call to order the Cascade Municipal Utilities Board regular monthly meeting on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024 at 5:15 PM. Note that all board members are present. Reviewing the agenda, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve agenda.
I'll second that motion, Barb.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried on the agenda. Public comment, I don't see anybody. Second water meter issue.
All right, so what I was gonna discuss, I actually don't have enough information about, and I'm waiting to get some final information about this. It does affect us and it affects the city, so the city council has requested to have a meeting with two of you. They suggested, knowing that Herb's going off, that would be Barb and Greg, and they wanted to know if you would be able to meet on Monday, March 4th at 5:30 PM.
March 4th at 5:30, that's on a Monday.
Yeah.
As a regular council meeting? Or is it a special meeting?
No, it's just, I believe it's with Megan and Riley. So like two of them are coming.
Subcommittee, so it's kind of almost like a subcommittee meeting, is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah, it'll be
Working
posted
committee
as an
meeting.
official meeting because there's two, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's two.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That date works for me.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so I will let them know, we shall proceed. And
Okay.
that we'll discuss more once
Okay.
we gather more information.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Discuss the new O&M requirements.
All right, so as you probably remember, every year, we receive updates on the gas information that governs us. So it's federal government regulated, how we do our procedures and how we do our emergency plan and stuff with gas. So he had sent out the updates for the O&M. The process is, they send it out, I make you aware of the changes, you guys go through the approval process. We send it back through and show the utility board that, you know, we're abiding by the law. And then the guys all go through it and sign off on it to understand like all the changes and things that may take place every single year. So it's that time of the year again, basically. This year, the only things that changed, there was several little changes. So basically what we have to do is like pull out sheets, put in sheets, like, you know, of the different updates that occur.
Okay.
The majority of the things that came through on that were in regards to transmission things that don't apply to us as a municipal utility. But it
Oh.
still goes in the overall plan because it governs all the gas folks federally, so it's something that we still have to sign off on. There was one change that does affect municipal utilities, and that is in the emergency plan in regards to the 911 call centers, because they have found that over time, which is very true, that when there is an issue, the local people call local people. So like the fire department's notified, the local police is notified, but nobody ever lets like the other people around us, like the county and stuff, be notified of things.
Yeah.
In some cases that may need to be notified, so the request is that in certain situations, you have to call the 911 call center and tell them that this is transpiring in the community, so it can kind of go out broadly amongst the.
And who's responsible for calling the 911? Is that the utilities? Okay.
So, and we also train, so
Okay.
another part of this is we then go and we talk to like the police, basically, we're all kind of in it together, the police, the fire, and us.
Mhm.
We all go through the emergency plan, everybody signs off on it, so everybody's aware and.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So, but that is what these three things are. There's three documents. The first one for the different resolutions are the emergency plan. The second one is the O&M requirements, and that's basically the big book of everything, that all the rules. And then the third one, that's the new one that they created as of last year, and that's like individual policies. And then a part of it is we also go through, once we look through everything, and we sign off on certain procedures every year to make sure like we're rotating and reading through different procedures. So that's what the three documents are, and those are the updates for the year.
You need a motion to approve these resolutions. Chantel?
Yeah, so if you wanna.
You want, like, each one separately?
Yeah, 'cause I have to do roll
Do you want
call.
to do each
I
one
have to- I have to
separately?
roll call them, so, I mean, you
Okay.
can list them all out, I guess, if you want, or, but as long as we would do it by roll call.
Okay, so Resolution 179-24, the new O and M, which is operating and maintenance emergency plan. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve that
Okay.
resolution number 179-24.
Second,
Okay,
Alright. Roll call, Vanderloop,
yes.
Monarch,
Yay.
Gross.
aye. The next one, Resolution 180-24, the new O and M requirements and recommendations.
I'll make that resolution, or that motion, please.
I'll second the motion number 180-24.
Alright, roll call, Monarch,
Yay.
Vanderloop,
Yay.
Gross.
Aye. Resolution 181-24, new O and M written procedures.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 181-24.
I'll second.
Alright, roll call, Gross,
Aye.
Monarch,
Yay.
Vanderloop.
Aye.
Okay, so that takes care of that then for the year?
Yep.
Good, okay.
Yep.
All righty. So the next is discuss the 2024-2025 budget.
So in your packets, you have the budget. Start with, at the very top left corner, it says 530 electric, that's the packet for electric.
Mhm.
I noticed, well, I should say I remembered yesterday, the one thing that I did not put in here on the electric side was you guys had previously approved to do the lighting for the library. I did not put that in here.
Yeah, we did,
So,
yeah.
keep that in mind when we talk through this. That would probably, I think we added, I think it was like 35 or
Yeah, it was around
40-ish.
35, 40,000.
So
Mhm.
that will change the bottom line by that much money when I add that in.
Okay.
All of the first section at the top, that's all of the revenue. The two things that, on the revenue and the expenditure side, the purchase energy and the electric collections, is still based on taking what we had for last year to just predict what we're gonna have for next year. So we just look at the calendar from January to 12/31, we look at all the kilowatts that we purchased.
Mhm.
We ask ourselves, are we suddenly building a new something that's gonna change the community enough to change that amount? There's
Mhm.
really not, it's just kind of a steady, you know, we have
Mhm.
growth, we have people in and out type things, like nothing that I'm aware of that's gonna be built to change the electric in a
Okay.
great sway.
Right.
So, we basically just take that, we base it on what the average electric price is that we're getting. That's what the revenue gets put at, and same thing on the purchasing side. So we just take that same kilowatt amount and figure it all out.
Okay.
So those are kind of the two biggest things, I guess, as far as like controlling the budget.
Mhm.
The interest, what did I do for that? 2.5? I'm trying to think how I figured out interest, because I asked questions to see what anybody could predict for interest, if it was staying the same, going down a little bit. I know it's going down a little bit than it was this year.
Mhm.
So as you can see, I did increase it based on predicting the future, but that seems pretty steady at, I can't remember, I didn't write it down.
What report are you looking at?
The interest on this one, very top one. I'm just looking at the summary, I guess I could look at the.
Okay, I
detailed
guess I
one
was
if you
looking
want.
at this one.
Oh, yeah, you
Which
guys
one
look
you
at
guys
that. That
Oh, I was
that
looking
kind
at
of
this
lists
one.
out the
Okay.
details a
This
little
one
bit
we want?
more.
Yeah, I
It's
guess I
easier
was-
probably to look
I
at
guess I
on
was
there.
looking at this one, and so I was just making sure
Yeah,
we're
so it's
just
on
kind of,
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
so it's
yeah.
got the 2%
Yeah.
on the,
Yeah,
on our
okay,
balance.
yeah, okay,
So that's how
yeah.
that was figured out.
Okay, yeah.
So where you see street lighting, that's the line that's gonna go up by the, I'll probably just plug 40 in, just to be
Is it,
safe.
oh, that's where that will go then?
Mhm.
Okay, okay.
Everything else kind of stays the same in regards to the rest of the revenue. So that's like the top section. If you flip the page, then it starts getting into the expenses. The second
Mhm.
section is all of the power plant items. And we do have to do relay testing at some point, because we're due 2025, so,
Okay.
you know, whether we do it in the first half of the year, the second half of the year on the budget, but I can let Matt know we need to put that in there.
Okay.
Building maintenance is just continuing to do updates. We know we need a new door to the yard. We still have tuck pointing inside, so that's probably gonna be the big, tuck pointing is gonna take a lot of that dollar amount out. And that's kind of where Matt's head was as far as doing stuff next.
Okay.
In regards to what needs it the most next.
Mhm.
The purchasing energy is what I was already talking about.
Mhm.
And then the next line is just what he's guessing as far as like fuel and oil and stuff that's needed for running the generators.
Mhm.
The next section down is all of the other various expenses for vehicles and such. As you can see, that's where I have the next new truck
Mhm.
and box.
Mhm.
Everything else is pretty,
Is that budgeted enough for that truck? New truck?
Mhm.
Is it? Okay.
I mean, unless something, as far as
Okay.
I know
Yeah,
today.
okay. Well, true.
Yeah,
Okay,
I hope so.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Meters, we're just continuing on with, we can't quite get there to get so many ordered every single year, but we're just gonna keep trying to budget it and hope that
Mm.
we can keep trying to press on to get that many every year to get switched out for radio read. That's kind of our new project that we have until it's finished.
Mhm.
It's very
Mhm.
slow going because of supplies right now.
Mhm.
For the tool expense, met with the guys actually to go over all of this, just to see if there's anything else that they were thinking, but the wire puller was their biggest thing that they said
Oh.
that they needed, so
Mhm.
that's in that line item.
Mhm. What's GIS? What's GIS?
That's the tracking of
Is that the
everything in
tracking?
our,
Gotcha.
on like where the transformers are and
Oh,
where
okay.
the
Mhm.
services are. Let's see, next is wages. As always, I just bumped everything by 5, just to have something that we have to put in here.
Mhm.
Same thing for health, just kind of kept it at that 15, not knowing anything yet. Training and travel,
Mhm.
it's kind of the same. As the locations related change a lot, collection expense, not changing. And then, I think what, so for insurance, ironically,
Hmm.
I had, our insurance meeting was today to talk about what they don't know about what it's gonna be yet. But I guessed when I sent this out to you guys, and that's exactly what they told me. It was 10
Really?
to 15, so.
Okay, okay.
Looks like I guessed pretty accurately, so I already
Yeah,
have that
okay.
in there.
Alrighty, that's
Um,
good.
But that's what they're thinking, and I'll talk about the insurance thing when we get to the bottom of the agenda, just to tell you what else they told me today.
Okay.
Professional reviews. Yeah, this is all just based on
Yeah.
what everything is now.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else that's changing. Oh, and then down under distribution system, that's kind
Yeah.
of like the projects,
Mhm.
because we don't foresee anything's happening with the 8th and 9th Avenue yet. So we left that in there.
8th and 9th Avenue, what?
Developing out more housing
Oh.
that way.
That's on the southeast side, right?
Good,
Mhm.
okay.
Correct.
Out that way, okay.
Still, we'll be working on the old food pantry building, and Delaney's is doing they're going to 3-phase, so we had to order a different transformer for them that
Oh,
probably won't be here till after our current budget.
okay.
And this is just the different supplies for continuing to add on as
Mhm.
needed with different
Mhm.
housing. So
Okay.
those are the things we know that are somewhere out there that just haven't been done yet.
Okay.
So that brings us, if you look back.
Chantel, what is the latest in 8th and 9th? There's nothing set in concrete yet? It's kind of up in the air.
So we just continue to know what they're gonna be needing, and, because again, when we ordered, it's a year out, so we're just pressing on, I guess.
Mhm.
So if you flip back to, I think this is easier to see on the little report.
Okay.
The top one has if you look at the over to the right-hand side where it says requested budget, then it lists the revenue total, and then if you turn the page 2 times, then it lists out the expenditure total, and then it says change in fund balance. So that's saying that if everything was 100% perfect on our budget, that's where we would be with the change in fund balance, but subtract that number by 4, so it'll go down.
So you said
I
flip
did
the
it
page, and where are you
It's
at?
right here, on page 3 of this little thing.
Page-
Instead of, yeah,
Oh, there's page 3.
so instead
Oh,
of 97,
okay.
it'll be 57.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha, because of that, yeah,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
So that is the electric side.
Okay.
You guys have questions on electric, or if you think of anything I'm missing, or?
Talk to me just a minute about that reserve funding for the insurance reserve fund.
Yeah, so that is every year, whatever, because we're partially self-funded, we basically have been tracking since day one, like what we didn't utilize based on what the insurance companies say. So it's just, they've recommended us to keep tracking that amount. So we just kind of know, like, if everything fell through tomorrow and we really have to go all in on paying stuff for health insurance, that's half, well, it's half, because the other half is sitting in gas, but that's how much that we are sitting okay, even if like some catastrophic thing came and we had to pay for it. They just recommend that we track that, so that's what that is. So like, if we didn't have that budgeted, that's how much would be drawn down in our overall budget. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but every year it
That's,
seems like
would
we
be our,
don't.
that would cover our end of a really bad injury or something like that.
Right. Yep.
And do we keep that in that fund? Do we keep adding to that fund each year?
Yeah,
So-
since I've been, I mean, I just track it every year, and then I go through and say, this is what we really spent, and this is what we thought we'd spend, and whatever's left. And it's been, I mean, there's been a couple years where we went backwards, but it's usually, we're forward, so we just keep adding to it to just, it's
Yeah.
kind of that buffer to know,
Yeah.
because it's kind of a gamble when you partially self-fund.
Mhm.
They recommend when you do that to keep back, you know, reserve amount sitting there, that if you had to draw down, this is what it would cost you,
Mhm.
so. Electric. All right, then on the gas, I guess we can do the same thing, flip to the detail page, because that kind of gives you the notes and stuff that go along with it. Again, the first top part is the revenue. On the gas collection side, we do the same type of thing. We look at what we had for last year, and then we multiply that out with what the gas person that purchases our gas is recommending us utilize for the number based on our history and what we've seen over the course, which is why he came up with the 10. He just said to be safe, do 10 average. And then on the flip side, under purchase gas, it's the same thing. We use the amount that we have, and then we use, for purchasing, like whatever he thinks it's gonna cost us. We always have that, you know, the $3 or whatever in, and that's what covers the budget. Like, so we have to have more in than what we're expending to cover. Interest was the same type of explanation. Next section down just kind of goes right, we don't have a power plant, obviously, on the gas side, so you just go right into all the different buckets for gas. There's nothing really, everything's kind of the other half of the electric side a lot of the times here. The only difference is like our maintenance and supply. Like, again, we're just kind of guessing with what things have cost and what things we've had to order in order to fix things throughout the year. That's kind of where we've been running as far as gas system maintenance. And then tools, same type of thing, there's not anything. When you see where we're at the end, you're gonna see we're upside down, so the guys have ideas, don't let me, I mean, we just kinda talked about, like, we can only buy so many things in
Yeah.
a specific year, and if we're buying a brand new truck and
Mhm.
there's a trailer I know that they have their eye on because something's going on, but it's something that can wait, so.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing really that we put in other than just normal tools that we
Okay.
need throughout the year on the
Mhm.
gas side.
Mhm.
Then if you flip the page, a lot of this is the same
Mhm.
thing as the electric, it's just the other half, so we do half and half.
Right.
Yeah, all of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just normal fees like, meter reading, all that stuff, attorneys.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Well,
same,
yeah.
yeah, all the way
Miscellaneous
through.
Admin, energy efficiency,
Yeah.
office supplies, payroll taxes, and then at the very bottom of gas, it's the same type of thing. We've got the 8th and 9th Avenue extension,
Mhm.
and then we still have that parallel line that we need to run, still from the DRS out to industrial. We still need to do that. So this year we budgeted to get supplies for it, and this next year, this is like boring and physically
Oh,
doing.
doing the
Yeah,
work.
because we
Oh,
can't
okay.
afford to do it all in 1 year.
Yeah.
So, this year we'll get all the duct and all that type of stuff lined up, and then this is to cover and the welding is very costly as well, because we're gonna have to weld a large portion onto both ends, and
Oh, okay.
it's a big chunk of it too, so that is what the system improvement is.
Hmm.
And then as you can see, if you look at the bottom of that with the negative, that's really
Mhm.
drawing down, which we did for this year also. But as you see on the revenue and expense, we haven't flipped upside down this year. We've still maintained, we're still in the good. We're still in the good on the gas side. We don't have
Yeah.
the duct and stuff in yet, which that will be a big hit to the gas line. So it might flip, but I don't know if it'll be as negative this year as we thought it was, so. But that's basically, that would come off of our fund balance. If it was, so we spent everything that we said on here,
Mhm.
so. But I guess I look at it as, like, how long have we had the gas rates? Like when we changed the way we were doing it? Well, Ron was gone, so it's been
Yeah.
3 years maybe. And so when I think about like how we've
Mhm.
been bringing in the money with the attention to spending it, we're just not spending it in 1 year,
Mhm.
so. It's been adding to our fund balance, and now we're starting to use it back up again, so
Mhm.
I personally, I don't recommend changing that buffer that we have for the budget, which is like the $3 thing.
Mhm.
I think we should keep it the same, just as,
Yeah.
because
no,
I feel like
yeah.
we've added, now it's okay to take, because we've,
Right, right.
we just.
Yeah, we're
yeah.
building up
We're
and now
building it up, and now we're spending it appropriately to pay
Right.
for the things that we knew we were gonna need, like gas.
Right.
It's just stuff we have to maintain. We've spent so much time on
Mhm.
electric.
Mhm.
Now we're needing to start more on the gas, so.
Yeah, right.
But we haven't changed that admin fee since we started it. And I always talk to Bill about it. Bill Lindley is our gas guy, and he kind of looks at all the numbers too, just, to see if there's anything coming that he thinks we need to
Mhm.
build in or whatever. So that's kind of how I usually come up with the gas, and he does a very nice job of
Oh,
doing it
yeah.
very closely to what, like he.
Good resource and.
He's a very
yeah.
good resource for us, so.
Yeah, no,
Sometimes
I
I know
agree.
if you're spending more than you need to, then you might have to look at rates, but I don't
Mhm.
recommend the rates, because I feel like we
Mhm.
have been running at that admin rate, and now we just need to use it, so.
Okay. All righty.
So that is my recommendation, and then, yeah, you guys have a question on the gas side. Okay. I went over, Matt and I worked on it, and then I did bring the guys in just to see if there's anything else I could think of, or,
Mhm.
so.
Okay. Do we have to make a motion or just discuss?
No, you do
Have
have
to
to,
make-
you must.
must
At some
approve?
point, approve the budget.
Okay.
If you are going to do it, I would
Yeah.
just say with the stipulation that it is gonna change and go up by that 40 on the electric, because I need to plug that number in still,
Right,
so.
okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 budget with the exception of the
Okay. Library
roughly
lighting of
40,000 lighting that we've offered for the new library.
I'd like to second that, please, Barb.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose. Motion carried on the 2024-2025 budget with the stipulation of that 40,000 added with the library electric. Next is the minutes, finance statements, and bill list. Review and approve the January 10th meeting minutes, the January financial statements and fund balances, and the February bill list and claims for payment. Okay, so. I know Matt's not here. In the minutes last time, we talked about that odorizer issue. Did you, I can't recall, do you guys, that odorizer issue?
Yeah, they came out.
Did they?
Yes, so we had to have them come out because there was, I can't remember what the issue was, but they had to come out and basically fix it because it was new and there was things that weren't working appropriately and.
Something about the
The smell was strong, I
Yeah, the
think.
smell was
Yeah,
real strong.
it was putting too much in.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they-
So they got that
They did.
resolved. Okay, cool. All righty. That's the only thing I had on that. Any other questions or comments on that minute stuff?
Make a motion to approve the minutes, finance statements, and bill list.
Okay.
I'd like to second that, please, Barb.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried on the minutes, finance statements, and bill list. Correspondence, the January plant summary metrics and the energy efficient reports. No accidents or power outages, which is great, especially during that terrible time in January. You can see where winter kind of started there on January 8th. It kind of started, the peak started going, climbing a little bit, and hit the record on January 15th. And was there another one? No, I guess not. So, yeah, that was, but everything ran okay, and you didn't have any,
It's been a mild, I mean, compared
yeah.
to other winters.
Right, it was just
As
that
you all
2
know, it's
weeks,
been-
you know.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to be done with winter.
I think a lot of us
Even
would,
though
but.
even though
Yeah.
gas is down, but I'd
Yeah,
still like to be.
I know, yeah, I know, but, yeah, it was kind of a rough 2 weeks,
It's
but we
definitely
got
affecting
through
our
it.
budget on both, I mean, it's both sides, because, you know, if we buy it, we, you know, what I mean, it's both sides, so.
Right,
But it's
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, that's Mother Nature, we can't control Mother Nature
Right.
and stuff, and so, you know, you budget what you think, and,
yeah, it's always the two line items in the budget
It's-
that always make me the most nervous, is all the gas and electric purchases and all of the income for both, because
Yes.
it's literally just like, well, we'll just
that's the main.
guess and hope that it's like it was last year, and
Mhm,
if
yeah.
it's not, we amend the budget.
Yeah, every year's different, it seems like. Alrighty,
I'll make a motion to approve the January plant summary metrics, energy efficiency reports.
I'll second that, please.
okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Oppose, motion carried on the correspondence. The next is the manager team lead report, the workload, the gas training and requalification, and the box update.
All right, so, it's inspection time, so they've been out doing the electric inspections. Once they get through that, then they have to go back and everything that they found, they have to fix. They have a specific amount of time to do that, so that's what has really been going on. They're still working on that.
Have they been finding quite a few?
I mean, it's
or
just, you need stickers, you need.
Oh, just kind
yeah,
of little things?
It's just maintenance type
Yeah,
things,
oh,
nothing
nothing
large.
major, yeah, okay.
No. And then they do the, street lights are next, which they're doing, actually, they started working on those today. So I don't know if you noticed that there's no street lights on the bridge right now.
Oh, no.
On the bridge?
I
Yeah,
didn't
did you
know
know
this.
it
I
was
didn't
street
catch
light?
it.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't catch it
So the one
either,
street
no.
light, I'm not sure, can't remember what morning it was, but the one bridge street light came down.
Oh,
It like rusted out from the middle of the pole and fell. Yeah, it was
Oh.
terrible. So the guys went
fell
out.
on the
It
street?
fell from the park, where the Riverview Park is.
Yeah.
Down over the fence and into the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, really?
Like, so lucky and blessed that nobody was
Yeah,
coming by.
yeah,
And it was like at
right.
7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
So there was traffic.
Yes,
school
definitely,
children.
yeah.
So we went out, took that one down, and then talked to Lisa and kind of talked through the other one, because both of them have been there for a really long time.
Okay,
And those type of poles, you can inspect around it. It's like a pole that was like bolted down to the flat piece, I guess is the best way to explain it, but there's no
Mhm.
way to see inside it, there's no way to.
oh,
Look good on the outside?
Yep.
wow.
And so when it came down, if you look up through the inside of it, like, we were talking to our streetlight guy, and he just said, like, there's no venting underneath it, it's like straight down with nothing underneath it, so like the moisture,
Oh,
gets
goes up.
trapped up in there, and then it starts eroding. But it's been down there since like the 80s or something, so I mean, it's been a long time, with the salt and the
Mhm.
sand, the moisture, so I mean,
Right,
it literally, there was
yes.
it just came down.
Yeah,
So
well,
then we were like, well, let's take the other one down, because they've been there the same amount of time, so
Yeah.
proactively, we have them both down.
oh, okay.
He is getting we haven't got the quote yet, but they're coming, so,
I assume the other one looked pretty bad too when they took it down, huh?
yeah. So,
Just a matter of time.
yeah, not as bad, I mean, the other one was worse, but, and they couldn't see,
Hmm.
I can't remember what they said, there was some part of that when they couldn't see as much as the other one because of the way they took it down, unless we like cut into it, they can't
Mm.
see
Yeah,
up
in-
where
up
the
in it.
same part was that broke, so,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but,
Hmm.
yes, so you'll notice the bridge is now dark, but we're working
Okay.
on getting 2 new lights. So that is what they're doing right now, speaking of streetlight inspections.
Okay,
We also are just working on some different houses and businesses, like the Delaney thing I was telling you about. It is time to do their OQs, so for gas training, they're coming the last week of the month. And he comes out and he requalifies them, so they have so many tests and things that they have to take. And then he comes and he does all their hands-on work for a couple days. And then he gives the stamp of approval that they'll be requalified. So, this is the year, like Joey will then move up one more level if he gets
Oh.
all of his stuff done and requalified.
okay.
And then Dalton he'll be fully qualified then.
Oh, okay.
If he gets all his stuff done, so then
Okay.
he'll get his bump, Joey will get his first bump,
Mm-hmm,
and that
Okay.
type of thing, so.
well, that's good.
Yep, so that's coming up, and so if you see them in here, sitting in here working, they're doing tests and
Mhm.
stuff, so. They can, it's a lot of computer work, so. Can only handle that for so many hours.
Then they want to go
do
back out
outside
in the
work.
field.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, I know. Mhm.
What else?
Is there a time frame on that with the computer work stuff?
There
or-
is, you have to, I can't remember if it's 30 or 60, there's so many days, like, once he's here.
Uh-huh, that they have to have
Anything
it.
that they don't, so our process is we do it before he comes, because then we're into spring.
Oh, yeah,
Like I like him to get
right.
it done before the end of the month.
Yeah,
And he always comes kind of end of February, because if they start going into March and we start getting busy, then it's really hard to pull him away from, and getting him sitting
oh,
in here on
yeah,
a computer when there's other
exactly,
things.
right, okay,
So,
okay.
that's the goal.
So they do a lot of the computer work before he even comes for that week?
Yeah, so they go through and take all their tests
Oh.
and do all their,
Are they doing that now, or gonna start here?
no, they've been
at it?
doing it for the last,
Okay, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been noticing trucks out there
yeah,
at different
it
times.
takes a long time.
Oh, okay,
So it's kind of
I
like.
get it now.
Sometime between January and end of
Okay.
February,
Okay,
they trickle in and out doing that stuff, but they've really been
Gotcha.
kind of hitting it lately, because they're kind of a little bit behind. so.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
I get it, sounds good.
All right, so that was the workload stuff. And then, let's see, gas training we talked about, the requalification, oh, the truck box is in.
Mm,
Just
oh,
found that out, so,
Good.
Once Matt gets back, he will go and we'll get that going, and then as soon as that's on, they can start using the truck, and we can put the other truck up for sale.
Okay,
I got information today that it is our time again to get audited from the Iowa Utility Board, so they're going to be coming at the end of May.
okay,
So, found that out today.
Is that a rotation or a draw, or what is that?
It's so many years they come. So I suspect, and the last time we got gas, we got electric, so I'm suspecting that will probably be coming in one of these days too, that we'll have the electric guy come too. It's two
Okay.
separate people, but
But this one is the gas one?
this is the gas.
Gas
So it's
one
actually
coming.
from the Iowa Utility Board, where they basically check anything we've done since the last time they were here.
Uh-huh.
They go through all of our records and all of our stuff and all of our
Oh,
fixes.
okay.
And they,
Oh.
like, it's kind of like their spot auditing.
Yeah,
To make sure
yeah.
we've done things appropriately.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then- Yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Imagine
So-
it's pretty thorough.
yes.
Okay.
We did have, as part of our maintenance plan for the power plant, Matt had Careby in working on some fixes. When they were doing that, they noticed that there was a leak in number 2's manifold and that it needed to be vented. So they kind of just, while they were here doing some other things, which is nice, they were looking at things and they
Mhm.
noticed that. So they let
Yeah.
Matt know. So it's something he has to go down. It's something we can fix ourselves, but
Oh, okay.
it's, it's good to know, so just want to let you know that he's gonna have to be working in the power plant when he's back to do some maintenance himself up there.
Mhm.
What else? Note. I think that's it.
I
And
assume
we're
the rest-
meter reading right
okay.
now. Yeah. And then we have some, now that it's getting, ground's a little better, we have some gas venting and stuff that we have to do. They're also changing meter out to, they do have radio reads, and when they have time, they've been going out
Oh,
and changing
okay. Mm-hmm.
all the meters if they
Meters?
can for that too, so,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Oh, insurance meeting, that was the other thing I was gonna talk
Oh,
about. That's hot off
yeah.
the press today. So they came to meet today.
Yeah.
They, again, said 10 to 15% increase. There are some changes. I was getting nervous because I started receiving all these, like, really letters. I think they're more generic from insurance companies saying like, oh, you might go up 25%. We
Oh.
might change the way we're doing your deductibles. But they seem to be, the consensus is we're all getting these letters and not to be
Mhm.
scared. They're not dropping us or anything, so.
Oh, okay.
I was getting a little nervous, but they are changing things. So one of the things that they're changing is in regards to what they're paying for roof replacements. They said going forward, they used to replace them, but now they're going to do cash values for them if they're over a certain amount of years old. And then if they're not, like if, let's say we can prove that we just put a new roof on, then they would do replacement costs. So now they're kind of saying like, we're not replacing your million-year roof
Mhm.
anymore. It's gotta be within a certain amount of whatever. So that was something different. There's also a new, this is the new one, is the wind and hail addition to the policy. Is anytime your building has an issue that's caused by wind and hail, it's gonna change how much your deductible is, even though like, or how much you're gonna have to kick in. And on the power plant, because it also depends on what type of building you have, that if, for example, if something happened to the power plant, we would have to pay $50,000 to get it replaced, fixed. So instead of paying
It'd be a
tens our
$50,000
deductible.
deductible?
Yeah, it changes how much we have to pay.
Wow.
And there's a 1% increase on the other buildings. So you have to take that 1% of the cost and pay so that's a big change.
Jeez, I guess.
So that's like some big thing that's being added to, that's like, I said, is that the derecho policy? Like,
Yeah.
you know, because that's what they were doing because
Right,
of storms is,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just gonna cost people more upfront in order to get things,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So that was kind of a big one. I did ask questions, because I'm in that, our SIMECA group, we've all been talking about it. Some people heard before others, and
Oh,
kind
okay.
of what's been happening with the insurance. I mean, the consensus says this is everywhere. This is personal, home. I mean,
Mhm.
this is hitting everybody. It's not just,
Oh, I know personal definitely went up
Yeah.
big time.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
hitting everybody.
Yeah.
And then, there's like talk,
Mhm.
there's, is there other companies, is there other ways? But I haven't seen anything yet where we've all talked that there's been like a great different solution at a different
Mhm.
place to go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
utilities are hard, because some people will come back and get told like, we won't insure you.
Mhm.
So we're lucky, because our EMC insurance is through Jester, which is, we're in with the IMU with all of the different utility companies, so,
Mhm.
you know, it kind of sounds scary sometimes, where some companies are just not insuring places.
Yeah,
Like, he was telling me today, like,
We basically can't shop around.
yeah, you can't,
You're
and there's,
right, no.
and that there's states now, which I didn't really know this, he's like, maybe you've seen it on the news, like, they're refusing to insure, like.
California is one of them.
Yep, that's what he said, that, I
Yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
California and Florida.
Some
Yeah.
companies even pulled out of Iowa.
They won't even, no.
Yeah,
they
Quite a,
won't.
quite a
No.
number of companies pulled out, including some of the.
Basically, you're
companies
on
that
your
service-
own. You're on
service
your
my
own.
accounts.
Correct,
Mhm.
same thing with us,
Yeah.
everything we have
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
now starting all over again, so.
Yeah.
I know it's everywhere, I know, you know.
Yeah, it is, it's,
The other thing that he and Cindy suggested maybe was looking at our deductibles just to see like what that might reduce on the front end for us for costs. Because right now we have 5,000, so she's like, what if you go to 10? And I was like, you know, and then you just ask, like, if we had to pay $10,000, is that really gonna hurt us? Like, probably not, so if that, but what's the risk reward of what it's gonna save? So she's gonna quote us.
right, yeah, it all
She's
depends.
gonna quote us, and then
you
we'll
know?
have to look at it
Yeah.
when it comes in and decide, so.
Mhm.
So like, in that possibility, let's say that something terrible happened to our power plant, do we need to be budgeting that so that we have that money available if need be, or is it just so, would it just not be really productive to do that?
That's a good question. I think it depends on how much it
Mm-hmm.
costs and how much we have that we would be willing to draw down our balance,
Yeah,
you know. And if we would be in a position that it'd be okay, that it'd be $50,000 and we'd have to come up with that money, you know, versus like, yeah, that would answer
I
my
know.
question, I guess.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know what the answer is, we know if we have to eat it, we eat it, but if it was there would just be something you carried over year after year, and then,
Mhm. Or have something in there anyway, you
Yeah.
know, reserved for,
I don't know, it's unlikely to
I know,
happen
no,
anyway,
it's-
but
something to think
Yeah,
about.
in our meeting today, they kept saying like, well, you guys would never have this. And I said, you need to stop saying that, you're gonna jinx us.
Well,
So,
you just never know.
You just never know, especially with the
We have
weather.
been lucky here in this area.
Well, we have been, but you know, yeah,
Yes.
but.
Just never know. The other thing that they did say is that building values are going up 9%, and values of everything else is going up 5%. So that's also, you know, if you're valued at more than whatever the cost is associated with that, that's how it ends up going up, I guess. We did have a huge, I don't know if you remember, last year was our huge jump with valuing the buildings and stuff, so I was surprised to see now they're going up another 9%, but
Mm.
we have to have insurance and that, you know.
I know.
Cost of replacement is so much that it's driving it.
Yeah, I do know that there's some companies that are, some utilities that are also doing actual cash value instead of full replacement, so I just questioned them on their thoughts on that. And they just said that their recommendation is always, if you have to rebuild it and you have to have it, don't ever do actual cash value. You know, especially if it's, because it's so much lower than, like if, you know, if our warehouse went down,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
couldn't live without a warehouse, we'd need to rebuild it, so
Mhm.
you know, that would not be good, but if we had like an outbuilding that if it went down and it's like, oh, probably wouldn't
Mhm.
hurt us to not have it, that, then they would go that route, so I was trying to see if there's anything that, if it could save us at all, but she'll let us know on the deductible piece and then we can talk about it when the renewal comes, but that's what to expect.
Okay. Hmm.
I think that's all I had.
A lot of information tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Is there anything else for the cause? I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second motion?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, oppose. Motion carried to adjourn at 5:59. Thank you.